how do you see brand management and how it aligns with the financial value of your business? How do the two work together?
Brand management means keep up developing our brands, right? And developing our brands in different ways, driving penetration, expanding the size of our brands, delivering what consumers needs or what consumers feel they need that delivers economic profit to us.
Okay, fantastic. And let's talk now about the meaningful, different, and salient framework. So, how is your business actually using those metrics, meaningful, different, and salient, as a KPI? How does it guide you in what you do?
First of all, it is used to assessing the strengths of our brands and identifying opportunities. As a business, usually we are always looking how to measure the long-term and the short-term impact of our investment in our brands, in our business. And this is part of the process of measuring long-term impact. And most importantly is how we keep up building iconic brands because, iconic brands is something that we always have in our mind. So basically, by measuring the long-term impact, how we keep up building iconic brands and how our brands deliver happiness or inspire happiness moments in the everyday for consumers is what we are doing with this. This is quite new measurement framework for us. So we are discovering a lot of fantastic ways of how we can embed those metrics within the business in the sake of making the best decisions for our brands to keep up growing our brands and continue making, strengthening the love that consumers feel for our brands and building even more iconic brands.
And who is it who uses these metrics? I know you say you're in the process of embedding them. Which teams are you referring to in the business?
We have a very complex matrix as many organizations, in which we have globals, regionals, locals. There is a lot of excitement about this new framework, and this excitement comes from everywhere. We have consistently deployed the framework on assessing the strengths of our brands to the global teams, and they feel super excited about it, and because we have discovered that we own among the most strongest brands in the category, and they are very loved. However, we have identified that our iconic brands still have opportunities to keep up developing and delivering against consumers' needs. So they feel very excited about this opportunity. And on the other hand, at the regional level, with the marketing associates, the people leading the business regionally, they are using this to basic things. We are starting, but basic things. We are starting developing communications briefs, identifying how our brands are perceived and what do we need to keep doing, to strengthen that associations, etc. So it's very exciting how we are learning. Importantly, we are speaking a similar language, a common language.
So I think it sounds like it's helping, even though you're in the fairly early stages, it's helping to align the organization around shared outcomes, but it's also helping drive strategy in some areas as well.
We have used MDS to set strategy at a global level, but also at a regional level, because it's useful to identify what are the brands with the biggest opportunities. We have identified, brands with higher potential. Because of that, we have decided to move forward with those brands to make them even more iconic. So, yeah.
I have another question for you, Alejandro, which is, a specific use case, but how have you used the meaningful, different, and salient framework to help your brand defend against competition? Tell me a little bit about that.
In anticipation of MDS, we knew what we had. Now with MDS, we have proved what the strength of our brands.
Mm.
Instead of defending ourselves from competitors, we believe that as a category leaders, we need to keep up developing the category.
Yeah.
So we focus on our brands, how we can keep up driving penetration, which is good for our business, but also is good for the category. And it is good for the consumers because, consumers are going to choose from shelves what is best for them. Is the approach that we have instead of fighting against competitors. We feel that really, as category leaders, we need to keep up developing the category.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And we identified in our blueprint for brand growth that big brands have a different job to do from little brands in terms of stretching a category, going into new categories. They have more permission to do that. So is that something that you're looking at?
Totally. And there are great examples. We have sneakers, but also we have sneakers ice cream. So
Yeah.
it is a great example of that.
Yeah.
And we are doing a lot of stretching of our brands within different, still snacking and treats and snacks, but different arenas in which we traditionally were competing within the business. MDS framework is new to Mars, and it is important to say that how this MDS framework has helped Mars assessing our brands not from inside, but from outside, from the perspective of consumers. As I said before, we already knew what we had, but now we have validated what consumers feel, think, and do about our brands. And it's a great opportunity for us to speak the same language, a common language internally, and assessing our brands in the same way across the whole organization. Because, in the past, saliency might mean something in one region, while in the other might mean something differently. So now we are speaking a common language, and that has been very helpful. By the other hand, what we have found from Kantar is a full support, full support to deploy and embed this program within the organization, and that has been fantastic. The experience that we have had with Kantar has been phenomenal.
Thank you, Alejandro. That's great.